There is money with your name on it sitting in a government account right now. And no one is ever going to write to you about it. You believe that if the government owed you something, someone would tell you. A letter, a phone call, something. That one quiet, reasonable, completely wrong belief is the exact reason millions of people over 65 never see a single cent of what is theirs. Sit with that for a second. Not money you might win, not a loan, not some scheme. Money that already belongs to you, sitting in a state office, in a forgotten file, today. And the system that holds it has no intention of mailing you about it. And here's the part that should make you lean in. Most people who actually go and look find something. Not everyone, but far more than you'd ever guess. By the end of these 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through 3 specific places to look, and I want you to check all 3. Keep your phone nearby, because this stops being a video about other people the moment you type your own name. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking, because I'd be thinking it too. You're thinking this is a scam. You've seen the ads. The government owes you money, with the flashing letters and the too friendly voice and the catch hidden in the fine print. Your gut is telling you to be suspicious. Good. Keep that instinct. Do not let go of it. Because that exact suspicion is the thing I'm going to use to protect you today. Here's the rule, and hold on to it for the entire video. The real money, the legitimate government-held, this is actually yours money, is always free to claim. Always. You never pay a fee. You never buy a gift card. You never wire anyone anything. The moment someone asks you to pay, to unlock money they say is yours. That is the scam. The real thing costs you nothing but a few minutes and your own name. So we're going to do this the honest way. No upsells, no miracle. Just the truth about where the money is and why you never heard about it. And that why is where we start. Because until you understand why this money goes unclaimed, none of the rest will feel real. You'll keep thinking, if it were true, surely it wouldn't happen to me. So let me explain how the system actually works. And watch closely. Because one of these reasons is probably the exact thing that happened to you. You spent your whole life believing the government keeps track of you. And in some ways it does. But here's what almost nobody understands. These systems do not talk to each other. The agency that might owe you money has no link to the one that knows where you live now. An old account from a company you worked for decades ago has no idea where you moved. There is no single desk where someone sits and says, "Ah, this person is owed money. Let's mail them a check." That is not how any of it works. Instead, almost everything runs on one cold little principle. You have to ask. The money stays put until you come and claim it. If you don't know to ask, you don't get it. Silence is the default. Not because someone is evil, but because no one is assigned to find you. And think about how easily a thread slips out of your hand. You change banks. You move to a new state. A company gets bought, and an old account gets handed to the state. A relative passes away and leaves something in your name that no one ever mentioned. Each one is a thread that quietly slips loose, and the money on the other end doesn't vanish. It just waits, in the dark, with your name on it. So no, it is not strange that this could be you. It would almost be strange if some thread, somewhere, hadn't slipped. Now let me show you exactly where those threads lead. 3 places, and I've ordered them on purpose, starting with the one that applies to absolutely everyone, no matter how much money you have, because I need to clear something up. A lot of you are already thinking, this is for poor people. I'm comfortable. This isn't me. Hold that thought. I'm going to take it apart in a few minutes. But this first one doesn't care how rich or poor you are. It catches millionaires and pensioners alike. It's called unclaimed property. Here's what that actually means. When money sits somewhere with no activity for long enough, an old savings account, an uncashed check, a refund, a deposit, an insurance payout, the company holding it is required by law to hand it over to the state. The state then holds it for you. Forever in most cases. It doesn't expire. It just waits for someone to come asking. How common is this? Roughly 1 in 7 people in the United States has unclaimed property waiting for them. 1 in 7. Look around your family at the next gathering. Statistically, someone at that table is owed money they don't know about. And this isn't my guess. In a single year, returned billions of dollars to people who finally came looking. That's not a rounding error. That's a flood of money flowing back to ordinary people who simply typed their name into a website. So here is your first thing to do. Now, not later. Pick up your phone. Go to your official state unclaimed property website, or the site missingmoney.com, which searches many states at once. It is free. Type in your name. Then, and this is the part people forget, type in your spouse's name and every state you've ever lived in. Because that account from your old life in another state is still sitting in that state, not the one you live in now. Pause the video if you need to. I'll wait. Go look. Found something? Even a small amount? Now imagine how many people scroll right past this, certain it's not them, and leave their own money sitting in a government drawer. And remember the rule. The search is free, the claim is free. If any site asks you to pay to release your funds, close it. That's the fake wearing the mask of the real. Now, while you're in that drawer in documents frame of mind, the second place is almost only for people your age. Younger folks simply don't have these. This one belongs to your generation. Savings bonds. Paper savings bonds. For decades, these were the gift of choice. A grandchild is born. Buy a bond. A graduation, buy a bond. They got tucked into drawers, into safes, into the backs of filing cabinets, and then they got forgotten. And here's the thing almost no one knows. A savings bond doesn't earn interest forever. It reaches what's called final maturity, and then it stops. It just sits there. A piece of paper, no longer growing, often worth several times what's printed on it, and completely invisible to the person who owns it. How much is out there like this? Tens of billions of dollars in savings bonds have reached the end of the line and stopped earning. Money that belongs to real people who have no idea those bonds are even still in the house. So here's your second action. Sometime today, go through that drawer, the one where the important papers live, the safe, the shoebox. If you find any paper bonds, you can check what they're worth and whether they've matured at the official Treasury site. Treasury Direct. This is your money. Maturity isn't a deadline that erases it. But every month it sits matured is a month it earns you nothing when it could be in your account instead. So that's 2 places. And notice, neither cares how wealthy you are. This is your own money, money you earned or were given, that simply lost its way back to you. Now let me deal with that objection I promised to come back to. The "this is for poor people, not me" objection. Because the third place involves benefits, and the word benefits makes a lot of proud people flinch. And there's a number coming up here big that most people refuse to believe it at first. Stay with me for it. I want to gently push on that pride. There are programs designed for people on a fixed income that millions of eligible seniors never claim. Not because they don't qualify, but because they assume they don't, or because some part of them whispers, I don't want a handout. Someone needs it more than me. Let me reframe that completely. You paid into these systems your entire working life, every paycheck, for decades. This is not a stranger's money you're taking. This is the system you funded, finally doing the one thing it was built to do, for you. Choosing not to claim what you're entitled to doesn't help the needy person down the street. It doesn't go to them. It just stays unspent. The only person your pride punishes is you. So let me show you what's actually on the table. There are programs that will pay your Medicare premium for you. The Part B premium that comes out of your check every month. That's over $200 a month. Over a full year, that's roughly $2,500 back in your pocket. And there are programs that, if your income is limited, hand you a monthly cash benefit on top. And here's the hidden magic. Getting approved for one of them often automatically signs you up for others, like help with food and help with medical costs. One application. Several doors opening at once. Now here's that number I warned you about. The National Council on Aging, a respected nonprofit, not some ad, estimates that more than 9 million older Americans leave around $58 billion in benefits unclaimed every single year. Let that one breathe. 58 billion meant for them, sitting unused. Why? The same reason as everything else in this video. Because no one sends a letter, and people read the silence as no. So here is your third action. If money is ever tight, even just sometimes, go to a free, trusted tool called Benefits Checkup, run by that same National Council on Aging, at benefitscheckup.org. No registration, no catch. You answer a few questions, and it tells you what you might qualify for. It takes minutes. And those minutes can be worth thousands of dollars a year, every year, for the rest of your life. Now I need to slow down, because I've given you numbers, and numbers can wash right over you. So let me make this real with one person. You might recognize her. She's a widow. Her husband passed a couple of years ago. She is not poor, not by the official lines anyway. She owns her home, she's careful. She's proud. And lately, money has been tighter than she lets anyone see. She's started cutting her pills in half to make the prescription last. She keeps the heat low and wears a sweater. She tells her children everything is fine because that's what you do. And in a drawer in her bedroom, in a folder she hasn't opened since the funeral, are her husband's savings bonds. Matured. Long stopped earning, worth far more than the numbers printed on them. And somewhere in a state database is an old account in his name, handed over years ago, waiting. She is going without, while her own money sits in the dark. She wasn't failed because she was poor. She was failed because no one ever told her to look. The money was always hers. The only thing missing was knowing it was there. And now flip that picture. Imagine her opening that drawer, checking those bonds and finding they're worth $800, $1,000, $2,000 more than she ever realized. Imagine the breath she'd let out, the heat she could finally turn back up. That feeling, that quiet, stunned relief, is sitting one search away for more people watching this than you'd ever believe. I don't want you to be the widow in the dark. I want you to be the one who opened the drawer. So let's bring this all the way home. It's your money. Go claim it. Everything today rests on one quiet truth the whole system is built around. They will never send you a letter. The check does not come to the people who wait. It comes to the people who look. The silence was never a no. It was just silence. And you've been reading it wrong your whole life. So here is the one thing I want from you. Not 5 things. 1. Tonight, before you sleep, search your name. That's it. Go to your state's official unclaimed property site or missingmoney.com and type in your name and your spouse's name. Just look. If you do nothing else from this video, do that. It's free. It takes 2 minutes, and it's the single most likely thing to put real money back in your hands, because it's sitting there right now, with your name on it, waiting for you to finally come out.